Ciao. All right, what's up, everybody? So we got a bit of a news update. It's really windy, so I'm just like sitting on the ground on Windway, and we're gonna shoot this video about travel. I would really appreciate it if you smashed the like button, commented. It really helps with the YouTube algorithm. YouTube really likes it. The more likes, the more they are likely to put me on the suggested page or the front page. So if we could do that, that would be awesome. I'd greatly appreciate it. But yeah, let's get into the video. So the first 5 minutes is just going to be me talking about like the official news for tourism again, and then I'll go into like a 10-minute opinion piece on what I think is really going to happen. So the first 5 minutes will be factual information that I believe to be accurate. Well, 5 different news agencies reported on it. So PM orders consideration of COVID vaccine passport for economic travel recovery. Prime Minister Nguyen Xuan Phuc ordered relevant agencies to map out plans for COVID-19 vaccine passport. Implementation to soon help tourism and aviation sectors recover. Appropriate anti-pandemic prevention measures as the country adopts an official policy for COVID-19 vaccine passport handlers. Some experts propose those holding vaccine passports should still undergo 14-day quarantine in the absence of information on the potential risk of infection following 2-dose inoculation. Others suggested the exemption of mandatory quarantine if foreign arrivals show a vaccine certificate and negative test results before and after entering the country. A vaccine passport entered the agenda as the Southeast Asian country committed to both containing COVID-19 outbreaks and ensuring economic growth, rebooting hard-hit sectors like aviation and tourism. Yeah, like, so to go off a bit, you got to realize so many people are unemployed from the aviation and tourism sector. I mean, so many, I've showed you so many businesses that relied on tourism are out of business now. You know, as we saw over by Benton Market, the great food court there that used to be really awesome is now just some like expensive bougie beer club restaurant that probably won't make it, in my opinion. It's too expensive. I am gonna go shoot a video there, but I already know my review probably isn't gonna be good at it. Like, there's so many travel tourism agencies here too that have been affected. Like, the amount of things that have been affected from tourism is on large scale. Granted, a lot of the GDP growth is from other things and not tourism. I think tourism is like, I forget the percentage, but it's a real low percentage of the actual GDP. It's still probably unemployed millions of people nationwide in Vietnam. And they're gonna wanna do like the other countries like Thailand and stuff like this and open up and have some kind of course of action. They want to resume. The PM also ordered relevant agencies to consider gradually resuming international flights. Closed national borders since March of last year, we know that. Only foreign experts and highly skilled workers allowed in with stringent conditions. So they're accepting expert workers again as of like a few days ago. They put a little cap on that from the third wave and from Tet. So that's pretty much open again if you want to get here on like the foreign expert visa thing. There's an 80% decline year on year in the number of foreign visitors from 2020. So yeah, you can see the numbers are really hurting. China and Israel were the first to issue digital health certificates for travelers who had been vaccinated against COVID-19, also dubbed vaccine passports. The US and Britain are among countries currently considering issuing similar permits, while the EU is also working on its own vaccine green pass, allowing those who have had the jab to travel more freely within the region this summer. Let me make sure I didn't miss anything. So their plan right now, so we can go walk around now and whip this thing around. Their plan as of, let me stand up. It's not as windy now, so we can walk around. bad behind me. It is really hot out today. Like no joke hot out. Probably 90, 95, quite a bit of humidity. So their plan now, even if like what they're kind of hinting at and saying is, even if they open right now, they are still going to want a 14-day quarantine for tourism, which pretty much negates being a tourist unless you're coming for like a 6-month trip or something like that. And I don't know what kind of visas they're going to issue again for tourism, if they're going to still give that 1-year easy visa out like they were for many years beforehand. Time will tell on that. Here is my guess and what I think is going to happen. They're going to want you to be vaccinated. And then if you're vaccinated for a month before you get here, and then you test negative before you get here, and then test again negative here, you should be okay. That's what my guess is going to be. And I still think that's going to be, because they're going to want to confirm that negative test, and they're not going to just trust the rapid one. So most likely what's going to happen is they're going to ask you to at least quarantine for 2 to 4 days. I don't see how there's not going to be some kind of quarantine period for like 2 to 4 days on travel. And I would say I would be okay with that. Like, if I know I had the vaccine for a month, and then I tested negative before I got here, and then, you know, they told me I need to stay in a hotel for 2 to 4 days so they can run a few tests to make sure I'm negative here, I'm okay with that. I'll go ahead and do that. I don't see that being a problem. I think eventually that's where it go, but I don't think there'll ever be a period, at least in the next, I don't know, year and a half, where there won't be some like quarantine type deal going on, if you get what I'm saying. So I mean, to get your hopes up and think that like in July you're going to be able to come here without a 14-day quarantine on a tourism thing is probably really not a good thing to plan on. It's just not going to happen. I mean, they're already saying that they're wary of it. They understand that the travel needs to happen, but they still just want to keep their good record. You know, they have an outstanding number for cases and deaths, and they want to keep it that way. It's helped them increase business in all other sectors because of that. They're like a shining example of how to handle COVID-19, as is a lot of Asia, you know, because it was already a mass country and people just do what they're told here. Like, again, I'll say it again, I love my expats here, but I swear the only expats I see, every expat I see is never wearing a mask. Like, I don't have a mask on right now because we're in Windway and there's no one by me. So like, who am I masking off against? You know, I'm within like 15 feet of everyone. So right now at this particular moment, I don't have to wear a mask. But that's my official view on it. I think it's going to be still quite a while for like what you would call any kind of normal travel. And even when that goes into effect, I still think it's going to be, you know, it's going to be a 2 to 4 day quarantine because they're going to want to check that you're negative and not want to rely on the instant test. So I don't know how fast they can make that change or how that's going to go. And I think it's going to depend on the vaccine, you know, like the China one's only like 50% accurate. Like, so I don't even think that one will get considered. It's going to have to be one of the better ones. And none of these are even like real actual vaccines that we've ever used, you know. To get the real actual like vaccine that we use for like other stuff since we've been like kids, that's going to take another year or two for sure. Vietnam has got 3 of them in progress right now, and it sounds like they're going to roll out the first one at the end of the year. But they're trying to get a bunch of Pfizer ones now. They're not so hot on the AstraZeneca after some like blood clotting here. I think 2 people had really adverse effects to it. So I think you've got to wait. I think it's, I'm going to say it again, if you want to get here, if you have like a valet or a wife-to-be and you're planning to move here, I would definitely go the expert visa route. Pay the money it costs to do it, and you know you're here. Especially if you're going to get married. It's super easy, you know. Barely an inconvenience. So I mean, we got some model footage over here. He's got the Ronin DJI. He's got the big dog. She has an exceptional amount of makeup on. But yeah, I would say you've got to wait, guys. There's You know, I tried to pop it as good news when I said that they're going to have a tourism bubble, but let's bring it down to let's bring it back to the real world. Most likely it's not going to happen without some kind of caveats. Like I said, like right now, I bet you they do open tourism in July to certain Asian countries, not even America probably, and I guarantee you it's going to be a 14-day quarantine. Well, I can't guarantee you that, but I'm pretty sure it's going to be a 14-day quarantine. It makes sense for what they're thinking, what they're already kind of saying. But I think as the research is done more and as we know more information on people vaccinated and if they can still spread it for how long after they've had the vaccine, once we have like concrete information on that, then I think they'll make a proper roadmap. So don't get all too excited to book a trip in July. Like I said, unless you're going to be here for a long time and you don't mind doing like some kind of quarantine, you're not gonna yeah, it's just not gonna happen. So I'm just trying to be realistic for you. Like, you know, this news came out about 2 days ago, and I waited to really do a video on it because I wanted to gather my thoughts on what I thought would actually happen and what I've seen as I've been here for a year and 8 months, as I've seen things like unfold, you know, in the year and 8 months I've been here, and I've been here during the whole pandemic, and I've seen how they handled it. I just don't see them going through all that work to keep it nice and clean, you know, and not have mass infection to open up and possibly, you know, have a big outbreak because of that. Like the article I read, the comment section is lit. Like there's like 15 comments on it. Hold on, let me go scroll to the comments for you. Very bad idea to consider is the top comment. And then the second comment, it's still too early to consider vaccine passports. Let's talk about it after the summer when more people are vaccinated and there's data on transmission and see where the pandemic is going. And even with vaccine, test before and arrival dates and a minimal quarantine 3 to 4 days. So like that's another person that's also kind of like agreeing on pretty much what I think would be the realistic scenario. I think there will be some kind of tourism bubble in July, but I think it's going to be 14 days for probably the first, I don't know, 6 months they do it, and then going into next year, they'll, once they have more information, probably drop it down to like 2 or 4 days. That's been my guess as well. Great to hear it's coming from the government now, but if you have to quarantine 14 days, it would not matter at all if you are vaccinated or not. Maybe required vaccination was completed more than 14 days before entrance, or whatever makes sense medically. And then there's a guy talking about how like vaccines aren't real. Is that anti-vaxxer? Yeah, I mean, I think it's easier to get here if you want to be here long term on an expert visa. And I'm not advocating you get a fake expert visa. I, of course, advocate you get a real one. You can also get, like, you could open a company and be an investor in a company. Some hotties. Charlie. I should get closer. They can be the thumbnail. Maybe we'll use these eyes, these older ladies. See, they're pretty smoke shows. These are, like, older ladies, and they're still all pretty cute. Especially the one left with the gray hair. She didn't give two shits. We got hugging in the alley eyes. I love an alley eye. But yeah, to close, we're gonna film the first weigh-in weight loss challenge on Sunday, and I started the challenge at 231.6, and I'm down to 231.6, and I'm down to 224.6. So I'm doing pretty good. I'm slaying it. I'm doing one meal a day, and then I'm eating either all meat or a salad for that one meal, and it's going really well. I'm feeling good. I feel like I'm in keto. I don't have any test strips or anything, but I feel super keto. Like I have heightened reflexes again, and drinking a gallon of water every second. All the stuff that comes with, like, and a little bit of keto flu, a little bit of lightheadedness. So I'm not sure about that. I'm not trying to go for keto, but yeah. Well, I hope you guys enjoyed the video. I hope this is helpful in making you make a decision on your travel plans for this year to come here. And like I said, it's probably not going to really happen realistically this year in a sensible time frame for someone that would be like traveling. So again, I would say if you're going to be here and you're going to come here for a long time, figure out an expert visa route. Thanks for watching. See you on the next one. Peace out.